So in the last video, we discussed arithmetic operators and assignment operators. And in this video, we will take up the remaining operators, starting with Php comparison operators. So by definition, the comparison operators are used to compare two values in a Boolean fashion. Okay? So it could be either true or false. So these are the operators under comparison operators. So we have equal. Okay, so it's true if, for example, the value of x here is equal to the value of y. Okay, the next operator is the three equal sign named identical. So it makes it true if x is equal to y and they are of the same type, meaning they are both integers. So not equal, it evaluates to true if x is not equal to y. Another symbol that we can use is these angled brackets, not equal. It's true if x is not equal to y. Then the not identical operator, which is an exclamation point and two equal signs, it's true if x is not equal to y or they are not of the same type. Okay, less than, it's true if x is less than y, and then greater than, it's true if x is greater than y, and greater than or equal to, it's true if x is greater than or equal to y, and less than or equal to. So it's true if x is less than or equal to y. Okay, so let's try their examples. Let's go to brackets and create another div. Okay, and what else? H2. Okay, H2, and let's label it as Php comparison operators. Save, and let's run it in our browser. Okay, refresh. Okay, so now we have our Php comparison operators. Now let's put a horizontal rule just right above this H2. Let's put, or after this. Save and refresh. So this is our horizontal rule here. Okay. Okay. So now let's try the example again. Let's say PHP, close it, and let's assign a variable. X is equal to 25 and y is equal to 35, and let's create another variable z, which is, let's say, it's also 25. Or let's make it a different number here, say 30. And this is also 30. Okay, save. Let's echo these. Echo x is equal to variable x, y is equal to and z is equal to. Okay, let's run it in a browser. Okay, let's put a BR here. Break. And just copy all this, just right here. Save and refresh. Okay, so we have now the values of our variables for x. That's 30 for y, that's 35, and z, that's 30. Let's just put var here. Okay, save. Now let's use the var dump function of PHP. So what is the var dump for? Okay, so it tells us information about the variable. Okay, for example, we would say x is equal to z. Okay, so it's going to tell us if x is really equal to z, or the variable x is equal to the variable z. Okay, so now it gives us information that Boolean value is equivalent to true, meaning variable x, which is 30, is equal to 30, which is enclosed in a quotation. Okay, because PHP automatically, because PHP evaluates 30 the same as 30 in here, because PHP evaluates 30 integer here and 30, which is enclosed in a quotation, as the same. Okay, using the equal operator, okay, or the double equal operator, just like what we discussed a while ago. Okay, so it says here that this operator equal makes it true if x is equal to y. How about if we use the triple equal operator? Okay, so let's say, just copy this. Now that we use the triple equal operator here, which evaluates to true if it is equal, if x is equal to y and they are of the same type. Notice that we used here a quotation and we put a value inside these quotations, which is 30. Now let's run this program and the output is false. Why false? Because when we enclose it in a quotation, it will treat it as a string, and integer 30 is different from string 30. Okay, so using this operator, it evaluates to false. Let's put a PR here. Copy and paste. Okay, how about the not equal to symbol? Let's say x is not equal to y. And x is not equal with double equality sign to z. Okay. Right. Okay. So in this part, we said here that using the var dump function, we like to know the information about x variable here is not equal to y if it evaluates true or false. So x with a value of 30 is not equal to y. Okay, so it said true because of course 30 is not equal to 35. How about this? Okay, so is x here not equal to z? Okay, this 30 is not equal to this 30, which is of course treated as a string. Okay, so we assigned an operator here which is not equal to, and the result is true. Okay, because this integer 30 is not equal to this string 30. So how about the rest? How about using greater than and less than? Less than and greater than. Less than and greater than. Save, and here. So we have, so x is less than y, 30 is less than 35, that's true, and x is greater than y, that makes it false. Okay, and the rest, okay, so that's less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. So we have here x is less than or equal to y, that's true, and x is greater than or equal to y, and that's false. Okay, so that is for comparison operators. Okay, so now let's proceed to another operator, which is incrementing and decrementing. So PHP incrementing and decrementing operators are used to increment or decrement a variable's value. So we have the pre-increment, that's using the plus plus sign and then the variable. So increments x by 1, then returns x. Then the post increment, we write first the variable and using the plus plus sign. So returns x, then increments x by 1. How about the pre-decrement? It decrements x by 1, then returns x, and the post-decrement. So writing first the variable and then minus minus, that returns x, then decrements x by 1. Okay, so let's try their examples. Let's put a div here again. And an h2, the label, and put a horizontal rule, save, and run. Okay, so we have the PHP incrementing and decrementing operators. Now let's say now let's say PHP let's assign a value to our variable x, and that's 10, and let's echo our variable. Okay, so save, and let's echo x. Okay, you can put BR here. Save, and run F5. So here we assigned a value of 10 to our variable x. Now using the pre-increment operator, we echoed variable 10. Okay, so the result is 11. So now when we echoed x again, that becomes 11. It holds the value of 11 because we pre-incremented it. Okay, so it's almost the same as saying x, okay, pre-increment it by 1. So just right here, it increments it already by 1. Okay, and we called again and echoed x, and the result is 11. Okay, so let me just echo it here. Echo pre-increment. Okay. And PR. Save. Okay. So how about post increment? Using the post increment. Pre-increment and post-increment. Okay, so in post-increment operator, we first write the variable followed by a double plus symbol for an increment of 1. Okay, so let's try to run it. Okay, now in post-increment, save F5. Now in post increment, what happens? So we also assigned 10 to the variable x, and now we echoed post increment, and we echoed this variable using the post increment operator. Okay, so there is no difference because in post increment operator, it's going to increment it after you have called the variable. Okay. So now when we echoed it again, it gives us the value of 11. Unlike the pre-increment operator that when we called the variable x which we pre-incremented, it already incremented it by 1. Okay. And when we called it again, we know that it has already incremented by 1. However, in post-increment operator, it is not incremented in this line yet. When we called it, after it has incremented, that's why it's called post-increment. It will be incremented by 1 after you have post-incremented it. Okay? So how about decrement? So let's just copy this example. Pre-decrement. Okay, so x 10 and say minus variable x. Okay, so in pre-decrement operator, we have assigned in our example here 10 to the variable x. Now, we expect it to decrement it already by 1 because we have used the pre-decrement operator double minus sign. Now, when we echo the variable, it has already decremented by 1. Okay. So right here. Okay. And how about post decrement? we transfer the variable here. Okay, in a post-decrement operator, we assign again a value of 10 to the variable x. Now we echoed this variable and we decremented it. Okay, and let's see the result. Okay, so it still remains 10. And why is that? It's because we used the post decrement operator. So variable 10 will only be decremented once we call it again. Because we use the post decrement operator, it will not yet affect in here because this operator works after we decremented it. Okay, so that's it for PHP incrementing and decrementing operators. So now let's tackle PHP logical operators. So the logical operators are typically used to combine conditional statements. So we use and it evaluates to true if both x and y are true, or it evaluates to true if either x or y is true. XOR, it's true if either x or y is true, but not both. Okay, and the double ampersand is true if both x and y are true, same as this, and double pipe or vertical bar. Okay, so this is true if either x or y is true, just like this or here, and not, okay, or the exclamation point. This is true, or it evaluates to true if x is not true. Let's try the example which they have here. Let's go to brackets and again create a new div and an h2, and don't forget to put a horizontal rule just right here before the div begins. Did we forget? No. This div here goes here. Okay, this is the closing div. And HR goes inside. And the name is logical operators. Save. And let's create our PHP script here. Save. Now, using logical operators, let's create a simple program that will identify if a given year is a leap year or not. Okay, so a leap year are divisible by 400 or by 4, but not 100. So this is our condition. Leap years are divided, or they are divisible by 400 but not 100. Okay, so let's use this condition. Now let's create a variable named year. For example, we can assign a variable 2020. Now let's write our if statement first. Now, if year our variable %4, it has no remainder, or let's use the or symbol, or this year %100 is not equal to 0. Okay, and let's make another condition, and the given year %4 or divided by 4 has no remainder. Okay, let's put this in a parentheses. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. So with this condition, okay, if year divided by 100, the remainder is not equal to 0, and the given year percent 4 or divided by 4 has no remainder, or the given year divided by 4 is also not equal to 0. Oh, I forgot, this is 400. Okay, if year divided by 400 has no remainder, so it will output a message that says this year, the given year, is a leap year. Because again, this is a condition. A leap year is divisible by 400, but not 100. However, if it does not fall in any of these conditions, let's say, just copy this, the given year is not a leap year. Let's try it. Oh, expect unexpected closing angle bracket. Where? Oh, of course we have to put a full stop right after the statement. There. So 2020 is a leap year. Let's check. Calendar 2020. So if you can see, February is up to 29, so that makes it a leap year. How about 2019? 2019, oops, that's too small. February has only 28 days. Okay, let's try it in a program. How about if the year is 2019? 2019 is not a leap year. Okay, and run. See? 2019 is not a leap year. This is one use of logical operators, and we will have a lot of exercises using logical operators in the succeeding lessons. Thank you. Now let's proceed to another operator, which is string operators. There are two operators which are specifically designed for strings, and these are concatenation and concatenation assignment. So again, when we say concatenate, it's more on linking things together, and in our case here, it's more on linking strings together. So dot is a concatenation operator. For example, we're going to concatenate first string and the second string, and the concatenation assignment is dot and the equal sign. Okay, so it appends string 2 to string 1. So let's try some examples so that we can understand it. Okay, so let's add another div here and an h2 and put the title and paste the title and let's create a variable here. For example, this is string 1 and string 2, and let's put it inside PHP tags. Let's say the string 1 is happy and put it in a quotation marks because of course it's a string, and holidays. Okay, so using concatenation operator dot symbol, let's echo string 1. Okay, and let's concatenate string 2. Okay, and close and save. It says happy holidays because we concatenated the two strings. Okay, so how about if we did not use the concatenation operator dot? Okay, refresh. So it produces a syntax error which says that there is an unexpected string 2. So it expects a full stop or a comma, okay, on this line, but we wanted to concatenate it. Okay, so to link it together. Okay, so how about if we add a space between the two strings? Okay, so let's concatenate a space and concatenate the second string. Save and run. Okay, so now we have it. We concatenated the two strings. So let's put an HR here first, or the horizontal row. How about using the concatenation assignment? Let's say we have some more strings here. Okay, so let's make it string 3 and string 4. Say happy Halloween. Using the concatenation assignment, we would like to append string 4 to string 3. So let's just say string 3 append string 4. Okay. And we will just echo string 3. Save, and let's put a BR here first. Echo break. Save. We appended string 4 to string 3. As you can see, we did not echo both strings. We did not call string 3 and string 4 because using this operator, using this concatenation assignment, we appended string 4 to string 3, and we just called string 3, of which string 4 is already appended into. Okay, so that's for string operators. For array operators, we will have a separate discussion on it. Now let's proceed to the Php Spaceship Operator. Now in Php 7, a new operator was introduced, and that is the Spaceship Operator, which is denoted by this symbol. It can be used for comparing two expressions. It is also known as combined comparison operator. So this operator returns 0 if both operands are equal, and 1 if the left is greater, and -1 if the right is greater. So it basically provides three-way comparison as shown in the following table. Okay, so for this operator, variable x less than variable y, using the spaceship operator, it's going to return a value of -1. Why? Because in the explanation, it is said that if the right is greater than the left, then it's going to return a -1 value. Supposing we have 5 here for x and 10 here for y, then it's going to return a -1 value. However, if we have variable x here is less than or equal to variable y, then the equivalent of this expression using the spaceship operator is this: x spaceship operator and y is identical to -1, or variable x spaceship operator and then y is identical to 0. It's because we have used the operator less than or equal to. Okay, and so on. Okay, so if x is equal to y, then the result is 0, or it's identical to 0, because both the operands are equal. If it's not equal to y, if x is not equal to y, then the result is not equal to 0. How about if it's greater than or equal to y? It's just its opposite. Okay? And if x is greater than y, also it's just its opposite. So it's going to return 1. It's because the left is greater than y. Okay, so let's try some of the examples. One more div. Let's copy the title. Create an H2 and paste. Save. And let's put labels here through comments. Or we can just put H3s and let's label this comparing integers. Comparing floats, the data type which is represented by floating point numbers, and comparing strings. Save. Now let's put PHP tags. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's say echo 1, and using the spaceship operator 1. Okay, save. And refresh. Okay, so now it gives us 0. Why? Because using the spaceship operator, it's going to return a value of 0 if both operands are equal. In our example here, we have set 1 and the spaceship operator and 1, so it's going to compare it. So obviously 1 is equal to 1. That's why it returned a value of 0. Okay, so let's label here echo comparing 1 and 1. Okay, and let's put a break here. Save and refresh. Oops, I got expecting 1 here. Save, refresh. Okay, so comparing 1 and 1, the result is 0. How about if we compare compare, how about if you say comparing 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. 1 and 2, so this makes it 1 and 2 also, and comparing 2 and 1. So let's echo 2 and 1. Save, refresh, tap into the brakes. Let's also put brakes here. Echo PR. Copy, paste. And paste. Save and refresh. Okay, so when we compared 1 and 1, the result is 0, or it returned a value of 0 because 1 is equal to 1. Now we compared 1 and 2. Since the right operand is greater than the left operand, then it's going to return a value of -1. However, if the left operand is greater than the right operand, then it's going to return a value of 1. Okay, so let's proceed to comparing floats. You can just copy this and PHP save, and let's say we're going to compare 10.5 and 10.5. So let's echo 10.5, 5. So let's compare. Let's make this 20.5. And lastly, let's make this the opposite. 20, and this is 10. 20, and this is 10. Save, run. Okay, comparing floats. Now we compared 10 and 10. So again, since this is equal, it's going to return a value of 0. Now we compared 10.5 and 2.5. Using the spaceship operator, it's going to return a value of -1 because the right operand is greater than the left. However, if the right operand is lesser than the left operand, it's going to return a value of 1. Okay, so how about strings? Comparing strings. Okay, so comparing. Okay, since we use comparing x and y. Okay, so echo string is enclosed in a quotation, though it's just a character. Comparing x and x. Okay, next, comparing x and y. we compare x, and now it gives us a value of 0 because x is equal to x. Now when we compared x and y, it resulted to -1, and when we compared y and x, it resulted to 1. Now how is it possible? Now I found some very useful information at Stack Overflow here that when you compare a string this way, it will go from left to right and compare each character in the given string to see if they are different until it finds a difference. Now x and x has no difference, that's why it gives us a value of 0. Now when we compared x and y, it found something different between x and y, and now it finds a difference, then it will decide which string is bigger by comparing the ASCII value of this character. Now the ASCII value of x is 120 and the ASCII value of y is 121 or 121. That's why it has given us this result. Remember that when the left is greater than the right, then it's going to give a value of 1. Okay, so because y is 121 and x is 120. Okay, and also here, since we have x is 120 and y is 121, it gives us a value of -1. So long for operators in PHP, and I hope you have learned something in this tutorial, and in the succeeding lessons we will have a lot to work on too. I hope you enjoy learning. Thank you.